It's been sort of 3 years of hard work, advancing multiple assets, targeting these tier ones, and what we believe now, based on the evidence we've seen today and the results, we are on the cusp of a tier one discovery.
Well, hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Shane Sikora, who is the Managing Director of Rumble Resources. Rumble put out an announcement this morning announcing a major new zinc-lead discovery at their Earaheedy Project in Western Australia. The market seems to have reacted very favourably to this news, with the stocks up about over 90% today. So Shane, a very exciting day for the company.
Yeah, firstly, Leo, thanks once again for taking the time to update your listeners. It's been a very exciting day, as you can imagine, in the Rumble office. It's been sort of 3 years of hard work, advancing multiple assets, targeting these tier ones, and what we believe now, based on the evidence we've seen today and the results, we are on the cusp of a tier one discovery, a major discovery, as you said.
So look, can you tell us a little bit about what you've found so far at your Chinook prospect at the Earaheedy Project?
Yeah, so look, we made a discovery, I think, circa a year ago. And I'll give you a bit of the background. What we hit was a 200-metre wide zone of zinc-lead open pittable, and the sort of numbers we were getting were 10 metres at 4%, 200 metres apart, both holes, which is economic when you consider 4% is equivalent to sort of 1.8 grams gold open pit. And what we wanted to see was, could we find the strike extent and the width from this? So this was the design for this program, is to see how big could this be. So what we did was a grid of 500-metre spaces by 100-metre step outs, which gave us about 2 kilometres of strike. And we did 26 holes, and every single hole hit visual mineralisation, which was exciting when we first came across that. So we fast-tracked 2 holes to get a bit of an indication of the grades, and in between the 2 holes, 200 metres apart, we hit a 21 metres at 4.3%. And as I've said before, 5 metres at 4% was economic. 10 metres is fantastic, but 21 metres is really, really good. We then stepped out 500 metres and we hit 34 metres at 4.22%. Right within that, there was a 17 metres at 6.65%, which is enormous. Okay. Now, when you think about, there's actually 2 k's of strike, up to 1.4 kilometres of mineralisation. We think this could be tier one based on that metal budget there alone. So we have put an exploration target out of 40 or 100 million tonnes, but just in that 2 kilometre space, we think could be 100 million tonnes. And to give you an idea of what that would be in gold equivalent, it's like a 6 million ounce going 1 grams open pit. Now, we haven't even found the edges of this yet. We've got over 45 kilometres of strike.
And I think an important thing to note is it's pretty shallow.
It's flat lying, as you can imagine, like a coal seam in a sense. It's consistent, so when you're drilling, it's very easy to open the pit up and almost block mine this thing. The mineralisation, or the overburden, is very soft too, very easy to remove, a very inexpensive way to mine as well. And so, the pure scale of this thing is enormous, being that it's open pit, open in all directions.
And you've had 2 holes back from the assay lab so far, and you've still got another 24 to go.
We do. And as mentioned in the announcement today, all holes had visual mineralisation. That gives you about 2 kilometres by 1.1 k wide. That's a significant metal budget. So if you consider what a 34-metre vertical hit, so when you look at, taking into context these holes, these are vertical, so they're true width. So a 34-metre intercept is like seeing an 11-storey building next door full of metal, to give you some context. And if that goes for 2 kilometres, you can imagine the scale.
Absolutely. And how does it compare with other zinc mines that people might have heard of, say Century Zinc in Australia?
Well, what's actually quite interesting about the new Century Zinc mine, that was 110 million tonnes, one of the largest zinc mines in the world at one point. That actually has a meteorite site right next door to that. What's interesting to note about our Earaheedy is we have one called the Shoemaker right next door as well. So we haven't, technically drawn the parallels there, but you can start to think it's quite a unique scenario where the 2 large sort of zinc discoveries have been made, have meteorite sites next door. But we feel like, whilst we put out the 40 to 100 million tonne type target, we think that just alone at the Chinook, it could be the 100. So you can imagine that we think this exploration target could be significantly bigger based on what we've done today.
And the ground you've got, how much more is there to, how big is your strike length?
So we got over 45 kilometres of strike. We've so far focused on 2 kilometres at the Chinook area. So plenty of room to expand and find new resources.
Absolutely. And your plans, obviously you're waiting to get these other results back from the lab, but more plans for drilling?
Yeah, like as we noted in the announcement previous to this one, we've got some diamond drilling happening roughly back end of this month, early the following month. And then we plan to expand a large sort of RC program, not to infill on the program we got, but to actually start to scope out how big this is, because as I said before, we haven't actually found the edges of it just yet.
And obviously Brett Keeler heading up your technical team there. He's discovered several mines in his career. How does he feel about this latest one?
Well, I think, when we put out the major discovery on our announcement header, Brett was a key part of that. He's been there and done it before. Found 7 deposits that turned into mines, and he believes that we have got a major discovery on our hands that could be of state significance. The scale of this is enormous, and we've been doing a lot of work in the background to progress this in a fast and efficient manner. So it's really exciting for shareholders from where we can go from today.
Absolutely. And so you've got lots of results coming out over the next few weeks, and more drilling to come. But congratulations on this initial discovery, and best of luck as things progress.
Yeah, thanks again, Leo. Very exciting times, and look forward to updating shareholders as we progress.
Thank you, Shane.